David Willow's senior season had just wrapped up, and now it was time for him to make a massive decision. Which school will he be committing to? His top 3 universities were BYU, Utah, and UNLV, and with his commitment being the biggest decision of his life up to this point, Willlow wanted to be 100% sure in his choice. So, he decided to tour each of his 3 options before making his final pick. First was BYU. The Cougs had just come off a great inaugural season in the Big 12. The mountains surrounding their stadium are beautiful, and David definitely thought he'd look clean in the royal blue. His next stop was just up north in the Utah Utes, and although they had just come off a disappointing season riddled with injuries, they were still the top dog in Utah, had phenomenal jersey combinations, and Coach Whittingham had a great pitch on how they could be eventual contenders. It was becoming clear that the Utes and Cougars would be great fits for Willlow, and his family were equally divided on which side of the Holy War David should commit to, but they seem to have forgotten he still had one final visit. David was headed to Las Vegas to meet with UNLV. They were a smaller program, but that meant there'd be more opportunities to see the field. Also, he'd get to play in an NFL stadium, which would be incredible. And on a side note, the nightlife in Sin City completely caught Willlow by surprise. Growing up as a good church boy, it was entirely new to him, yet David was somewhat intrigued by it to say the least. But with all that being said, it was now time for our 2-star wide receiver to commit to one of the 3 programs. No one knew who he'd choose, but David deep down always knew which school was the best fit for him. And with that being said, out of the 2 real choices, he wouldn't be joining the Utes. Half of his family was ecstatic, as that meant Willlow would be playing in the mountains and become a BYU Cougar. Psych! The unexpected was happening. David will be starting his collegiate career as a UNLV Rebel. His entire family was in complete shock and were genuinely worried about what Vegas would do to a pure and clean-cut 18-year-old out of Utah. How will David Willow's freshman season at UNLV unfold? Find out in the next episode.